Hello and welcome to the live streaming today, and it's snowing. This is literally the first snow in the new year 2022, which is also the year that China will be hosting the Winter Olympics. And today I'm bringing you to a special place. Just remember, the organizing committee of the Beijing Winter Olympics has just introduced this menu to be ready, available for all athletes attending the Winter Olympics, and one of the local favorites is called fermented tofu. Probably you've heard about tofu, but fermented tofu, what exactly is that? Some kind of pickles? And today we're taking you to the factory, to one of the providers in Beijing, located in Beijing, called Wang Zhihe. The statue right behind me, he is actually the founder of this brand about 300 years ago. So today we're taking a tour of the factory, where right over there is a little museum where we're going to introduce to you the whole process, how fermented tofu is being produced and the history of this brand. Now, well, here is a legend. Say this brand was established about 300 years ago. Don't take me wrong, we're not saying fermented tofu was invented 300 years ago. Legend has it that the fermented tofu has a history of about, well, thousands. I don't know how long, but you know it. And all these, the foods, you don't know exactly when they were invented, but it's good to know that here is the brand, Wang Zhihe. The established brand was introduced about 300 years ago. Once again, this is a little painting of the inventor. And these are some, because this is a museum, and some miniature sculptures showing how it's been made. All these tofus or bean curds are in different sizes of containers. The story has it that, well, he started as a scholar. He came to Beijing. He's not originally from Beijing. He's in Anhui, not far further south, but not far from Beijing, about in central north of China. And then he's a scholar. He wanted to attend the court exams. He tried to be an official if he passed the national exam, but he didn't succeed. And he wanted to try it again in another 3 years, because the cycle was about 3 years. And then he wanted to support himself by producing and selling tofu or bean curd. And one day, the story has it, one day he produced too much. He didn't sell them all. So what he wanted to do was to put them in a container just like those ones, probably a bigger size, and put together with all these tofu, some salt, some other ingredients, and sealed them. Just put them there. And in a few days' time, according to the legend, and he found it actually extremely delicious. And that's how it was invented by him, I guess, but not, like I said, not fermented tofu as a whole. Once again, over here we're seeing all these fermented tofu being contained in different containers of different sizes. And all these paintings are showing, ooh, this is Dowager Cixi. She's like the empress in late Qing dynasty over 100 years ago. So this is a little taste, little flavor, but caught the attention of even the royal court. These are some stories about the brand itself, because it's quite an established brand in China, and even caught the attention of some German opportunists, and they have it registered in their own country, and they had a lawsuit and tried to fight for their own right, and they did succeed. Again, these are the brands of different flavors, bean curd or a fermented tofu in different flavors. Right over here as a little example of what a little fermented tofu shop would look like in the old days. This is what I want to show you. Again, this is a miniature sculpture, vividly telling what a workshop would look like in the old days. This was a replica of a fermented tofu workshop located in Qianmen Street. Qianmen is like the high street in the old times, even still today maybe, located right in the center of the city. It's right to the south of the Forbidden City, south to now what is now the Tiananmen Square, and still the high street. So what is special about the workshop is right to the front is very much like the shop itself. So people buy fermented tofu from here. This is the street, this is the shop. But right behind the shop is the factory. some people playing ghosts over here. But right behind the shop is the factory. And this is showing how fermented tofu was made in the old days. It actually started from right over there. If we just go over there, and let me show you some examples. This is how this has been made. Oh, it's all fixed. It's the beans. You have to grind it into paste, I guess, and boil it. Make tofu first out of this. This is how they make tofu. And then have them pickled, preserved. I don't know how, but we are going to invite a special guest to join us to explain in detail exactly how it's made. But this is pretty much the process of how fermented tofu is being made. And this also shows you the layout, the structure of a ancient, traditional workshop looked like in the old days. And not just fermented tofu, I guess, in the old days, because there won't be a large-scale factory, so pretty much for all businesses, it's like that. And to the front, the facade will be a shop facing the street, but right behind it, it will be the factory itself. Yeah, this is, oh, take a look. This is a holographic display of how this is being made. Just take a look. This is how, okay, now, oh, it's been processed in primary stage, cut. Tofu being cut in different sizes, and this is a shop again. In the front is the shop. Right behind all these containers containing the ready products. Now these are again the process explaining how this is being made. I guess the video showing how it's made in modern days, using all these mechanics and scientific ways. Yeah, these are the beans and different ingredients being used in producing fermented tofu. It's really cool. Now, let's move on over there. Let's get down to the lower floor where we're going to meet. Oh, the picture, the video there shows how it can be used in our daily lives. And this is actually a daily flavor that I almost use, not every day, but often for my breakfast. Nope, that's a little okay, well, basically the little gentleman is showing how it can be used in cooking. There is a video clip, I guess, in YouTube, and people are trying to taste the sauce of it, or the soup, the sauce of it, in it, and probably in a strange, not strange way, but you know, untraditional way. Yeah, now we're moving downstairs where we're going to show you the whole process, the real process, how this is being made. And this is pretty much also a learning base for young students that would just come here. Those are the little paintings made of beans by these students. I still remember when I was little in my hometown, and I also tried to get myself involved in learning how to make some tofu, Chinese tofu. Probably you've seen some Chinese tofu in the supermarkets, but I'm not sure if you know how it was actually made. Yeah, these once again are some ingredients used in producing tofu or fermented tofu. Here is a huge container. I guess in the old days, in the factories, people would be using something like that. Oh, this is heavy and fixed. Anyway, let's move on to over here, and we have our engineer from this factory waiting for us, ready to explain how the whole thing is being produced. 你好，怎么称呼您？我姓习，属习的习。Mr. Xi, and he's going to show us how the whole fermented tofu is the whole process of producing fermented tofu. So, 那我们怎么开始操作？先我们第一步要先这个把泡好的黄豆放进去。This is the yellow, yellow bean. Anyway, you have to put it in the in water for about 要泡多久？6到8小时。For 6 to 8 hours, then it will become like that, and then this is the little grinder showing. 我来试一下哈。I still remember when I was little, I was also doing this, but it's a much bigger one. 这个感觉没磨好啊，就渣儿了是吧？要磨好几次。It was not totally done, and he said we can just repeat the whole process, just meaning put them back over here again. But you can see the little paste coming out. This is how, well, the initial stage is how we make tofu. Okay, do it again. When it's not properly processed, then we repeat the whole process. And this is, I guess, also good exercise. 越磨越细。越磨越细。Yeah, the more you repeat, and then you can see it's ready. Yeah, 没问题。你再看这边就更细。Okay, do it again, and I guess. Yes. 要加多少水？有确定吗？一般1斤豆荚用6到7斤水。1斤1乘以 1:6 1:6 Yeah, the question is how much water do we need to add to all these beans, and he said it's roughly it's about a 1:6 1. Yeah, it's about a one, say, one portion of bean, 6 or 7 portions of water. 水就自来水就行了。哦，或者要烧开。Yeah, tap water is just fine because you're going to boil them anyway. 这个出来之后还要加水吗？不加水就这些。Okay, this is the first stage. When this is done, ooh, looks like the boiled soy sauce bean. No. Okay, I feel much warmer now. 这是第一步。对，这是第一步。This is step number 1. 但所有的其实在工厂里面现在都是自动化的。对，都是自动化。So this is showing how this is done, but in a real practice, it's all mechanical. It's all machines. So what do we do next? 接下来。然后接下来就是把 Second step, you take it over. This is a little filter. Yeah, little filter. A filter, filter it. Just make sure it's only liquid goes through. So when this is done, you boil them. 要给它煮开是吧？对对对，这个底下是锅，底下是灶。The wok and then it's fire underneath, so this is boil it. Boil it until it's ready, it's done. 然后煮好之后就是现在的豆浆。This is what is being boiled. You can drink it. I mean, this is also the ready product, and you can have it. Yeah. And how do you make this liquid into bean curd? It's not natural water. It's bitten. Just take a look at how it will be changing very quickly. The format, just adding some bitten into it, stir it, keep stirring it. 大概有多久会变？ In about 1-2. See, it's changing already. In 1-2 minutes, it will be ready. It won't be like that yet. It won't be tofu yet, because there's still too much water in it. Still liquid, but you can see the changes. This is the effect of adding some bitten to it. 然后接下来就变成这样的。And if you wait long enough, it's like that. So 然后呢？然后我们倒进去吗 ？OK， 现在倒一下是吧？这个就已经看出来了，烫哈，没事。See, it's much thicker now. Wait until it works to its full effect. So it's right over there. You wait, and you squeeze it. 要挤出去吗？对，要把这水挤。Okay, squeeze it out. This is exactly how we made tofu. So the whole process never changed, even after thousands or hundreds of years. So you squeeze out the water part, and then, ooh. 挤多长时间？3到5分钟。Okay, it takes about 3-5 minutes until it's ready. Once again, this is showing how it's done manually or the traditional way of doing it. But in real practice, because this is a factory, they produce in large scales, and it's all mechanical, it's all machines. But you wait. Well, I guess you can find on YouTube, and this is how tofu is being made. I still remember when I was little, because you have a little jar where you put salt and give it time, and after, I don't know, months or years, and underneath that little jar you find something like that, and my grandma would save them to make tofu. And when it's ready, it'll be something like that, and this is tofu, but probably it's harder. 这是比较硬的是吧？ Yeah, but because this is the ready products, not the ready products, but the tofu meant to make some fermented tofu, so it's harder than what we probably will find that we would choose to cook to eat directly in supermarkets. So it's harder, but in supermarkets tofu you tend to you meant to find it softer. So it's about ready. 差不多了是吧? If you take a look, then it's now solid, and it's hot. Right. 好像还没有完全的，就是水分还没有太挤干，是吧？
因为咱们这个需要好几锅，好几个，就是这个放比较大。
比较大一点，就是时间还不够，是吧？
时间还不够。
Yeah, well,
这个量也不够。
Once again, we're just showing how it's made, but this is not the state that they expect to see, because this is the ready state, but it's kind of softer than they expected, because we didn't have enough of this, and the time was not also enough. So once this is done, what next? When this is done, what next to make fermented tofu? Okay, this is a little sculpture showing you how it's been made. Remember the state of the tofu? It's been cut, sliced into little squares like these. These are, okay, real tofu. Right? 这是要晾吗？
它不是热吗？晾，然后晾完了接菌，要喷菌。喷完菌之后，我们要放到这个发酵库里。
Okay.
长毛。
See, wait. So it's like that. Slice them into all these little squares, leave them there, and they are going to spray some, I don't know, pickles on it. Leave it to develop until it's like that. 要多久会变成这个样子？36到48小时。It's about 1.5 days to 2 days. The hair, the white hair will grow, but don't worry, it's no harm. It's still edible. It's still food. Don't worry, but it looks scary though. I mean, it's.
然后就是把。
这是模型吗？是真的？ Oh, these are real. Just come take a look. Yeah. Looks hairy. And it's gone. And they're fine. Yeah, they're good. 然后
我们就需要把这个长好的这个给它都给它。
The next step is just get rid of all these white hair. They look nice, and once they're done, it seems like a little sculpture being ruined. So, 就好了。
对，然后放到盒子里。
And then put them in boxes.
然后给它。
Oh.
要把这个。
All these boxes, okay.
放在这里，码。码上。
然后呢？
撒上盐。
And add some salt.
然后撒上盐之后。然后放一天。
Leave it there for 1 day.
再灌上盐水。
And some more salt water, salt sauce maybe.
待4到5天。
Leave it there for 4 or 5 days.
然后就变成这样。
And we'll get things like that. 还没有好。Ooh. They're pickled. 这就是盐皮。 bit cold, but not ready yet, not the final product yet. But and then this is pretty much white or gray. And and then put them in containers like that. But how does it change it into this? Okay. Ooh, so the key is about all the sauce, or I don't know how you call it, but it's ready products made of something like that. Is the red pickled rice, and then leave it there. And okay, give it some more time. 25 to 30 days before it's ready. And then it's ready. And then it's ready. And it'll be what you're going to find in the supermarket. Oh. Again, like I said, and that's how we show you it's done manually, but this is showing a little example, little display of how this has been made in an industrial way. So it seems no people are involved. Yeah. It started the grinding part right over here, boiling it. Okay, this is boiling. 这个是 Okay. When it's ground and then it's poured into here, it's been boiled over here and bitten added over here. And then it will become tofu. You squeeze all the unneeded water part out and squeeze them. They look like 饺子, but they're not. They're sliced into squares of tofus. Okay, further pickled. Yeah. And then being contained. And give it more time, 25 to 30 days, and it's ready. Doesn't seem that complicated, but indeed, and this is how it's been made, and we have them not every day, but this is a little daily taste. I also, I'm swallowing. I use them for my breakfast, toast. And here is a little kitchen. We're going to just show you how that we can use some fermented tofu for the morning breakfast. We're going to make some fried egg. This is rather strange because I've never done it before myself. He's actually putting two squares of stinky tofu. This is literally not fermented tofu, but stinky tofu. Stinky, but tastes great. Two of them, that's a lot. It seems a lot. And we're going to put some eggs into it. 2块，太多了吧？
不多，刚才我们吃了1块的，有点淡。
I said 2. He said, yeah. It won't be too much. It's just about the right number of fermented tofu or stinky tofu involved in it.
这外边这豆腐这个皮儿就是那个咱们刚才看那个，这外边就是那全都是那个蛋白质。
Say the skin of it is exactly what we saw right over there, the white hair part. And that's some bread, some bright bread, morning bread. You can basically what I did was I would toast some bread, toast some toast, and then put some fermented tofu, all the sauce out of it, on the surface, just like you would, do with cheese or butter in the morning. And then that is why some people would also call it like the, the old cheese from the East, or old cheese from China, and they're referring to fermented tofu. Okay, 2 eggs, 2 slices of fermented tofu or stinky tofu, and 3 eggs. 4. You sure just 5? 4? 5? 5? All right. Oh, okay, just 4. 这是几个人的量？
反正就一道菜吧。
Okay. I said, my question is for how many people? And he said, well, depends on you, how much you can eat. This is one dish, right? No, the oven is not ready yet. See? Okay, it's working. 你早上会吃这个吗？
一般早上就蘸个馒头。
蘸个馒头。
对，这个摊鸡蛋也就中午做个菜当
Yeah,
菜吃。
yeah. I'm asking him whether he would do something for his breakfast like that. He says probably too complicated. He would just use some bread to have a little sauce on the surface of bun, maybe not bread, the Chinese bun, and then maybe for lunches he would cook something like that. Ooh. I'm curious of how it will taste. Where's my chopsticks? I'll have them ready. Okay, little oil. Not too much, maybe. Ooh. I'm wondering if athletes coming to attend the Winter Olympics are going to see products like these. Definitely, you're going to find these in the kitchens, in the dining halls, in the Olympic Village. Maybe these 2 and these 2, all fermented tofu, but in different flavors. But not quite sure if they're going to come across cookings like this. 这个奥运会的时候，这3种都会有是吧？
应该是。
都是哈。He's not quite sure either, but I guess.
这里面也没有添加剂，没有防腐剂。
Yeah, it's all natural ingredients, and not sure you're going to like them. But if you like the smelly, yeah, but the smelly cheese, probably something coming close to that is this. This is all right. This is what I see every day that I have in my refrigerator, and sometimes I do use them for my bread. 还没好哈？这是倒计时啊，这是
这个电炉的炉，咱那个。
所以现在咱们这个产品都卖到什么地方？
美洲，加拿大，澳大利亚，非洲有些城市也有。
And this is the product which is not only popular in China, it's also being sold to many other countries, including in North America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and he basically just now he was telling me that where you can find Chinese communities, you will see this. And the revenue for the year 2021, they reached 1.3 billion RMB. Ooh, sounds pretty good. Now, I mean, fried eggs, you know how to make them, but what I'm talking about is the taste of it. I'm curious because I've never had it myself before. Probably you've have you tried cooking eggs, fried eggs with stinky cheese. I guess, I mean, if you probably you can relate to that. I guess the wok is not hot enough. Otherwise, it won't take that long. 放多了吧? 4 eggs, there are a lot. But if you talk about, you know, the Winter Olympics, well, definitely it's a sports game, but at the same time, it's also the time when you feel and experience cultures from different countries. And now this, last time the Summer Olympics was in Tokyo, and I guess that's the opportunity to experience Japanese culture. And now it's coming back again to Beijing, because 2008 it was the Summer Olympics, and now it's the Winter Olympics. So Beijing is the first city that hosts both the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics. And this is also the time when you can experience local cultures. And it's a pity because of this pandemic, probably there will be the inner circle, and the athletes won't be traveling that freely like in the old days into the cities where you can feel more closely the local cultures. But I guess when you're not coming to the city, and the city of Beijing is bringing the local cultures to you, like something like this, that it's more like the daily food, the daily culinary that we have. And if you want to have a try, you probably can have them for your breakfast. It's nearly ready, and the color is different, but he is using the stinky tofu that I seldom use, because the smell, the taste, for me, even a little bit too much for me myself. Just for the fact, you know, not all Chinese eat all Chinese food, because China is a huge country. There are regional foods, and some people are used to some regional tastes. Not all of them are used to that, or not all of them like the taste of a different region. But when you grow up over here, if you are used to the taste that you have when you are a little child, then probably this are going to be a part of your childhood memories, and you will miss that, like these tastes. 好了吗？
好了。
差不多了哈。Okay, now they're ready. I don't know. I mean, this is also a new experience for me. 这里面确定是有那个味儿哈。
但是很淡。
The smell is still there, but much better. Trust me, this is my first time too. Okay. It's still there. It's pretty strong. And probably he's added too many slices to it. It's salty. It's really salty. But yeah, I need some water, but maybe later on. And once again, like I said, when you come to Beijing, when you do have the chance to come to Beijing during the Winter Olympics, if you're one of the athletes, probably you can try one of these in the dining halls at the Olympic Village. And we are also going to bring you some of the more dishes that are included in the Olympic menu, which is introduced by the organizing committee of the Winter Olympics in Beijing not long ago. And once again, and this is pretty much the display of how a traditional food, a traditional Chinese fermented tofu is being produced, and it's provider of this delicacy in Beijing. And thank you for your time, and I'm going to continue working on my little treat over here, my first experience. Thank you once again, and bon appetit to myself. Hopefully, see you in Beijing. Cheers.